Well, in spite of the fact that the Democrats have been trying to hamper Donald Trump from campaigning across the country, he is still going around and doing rallies, and especially in major Democratic strongholds. We saw that happen in New Jersey, we saw that happen in Minnesota, and as I'm making this video on May 24th, yesterday, he went to the South Bronx. And holy crap, did he manage to get a lot of support there. In spite of the fact that this is a heavily Democratic area. It's a borough of New York City. It's known to be a Democratic stronghold. And in spite of the fact that the trial has been, again, hampering Donald Trump, hell, even AOC admits to this fact that it's basically the legal equivalent to an ankle bracelet. Her words, not mine, that is trying to hamper Donald Trump from doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is campaign across the country as the next possible candidate for president of the United States. Something that I'm pretty sure she's gonna be getting a strong talk with a lot of members within the Democratic Party, because she said the quiet part out loud. Now, let's be honest, it's basically an open secret at this point, but thank you, AOC, for basically confirming what we already know. And it's and it's from the Geek Squad. I just love that. But again, in spite of the fact that Donald Trump has been dealing with legal proceedings and whatnot, he's making rallies all across Democratic strongholds. Now, is he going to win any of these places, like say Minnesota or New Jersey or even New York? Honestly, no. In fact, I said in my previous video about a week ago that while he does have a major chance of possibly flipping the state, it's still kind of hard to determine because of the fact that Minnesota has been a very Democratic stronghold since 1972, and even with Joe Biden's popularity in the spiral, he still leads in that state. So who knows? But I don't expect him to win New Jersey or New York. Nonetheless, he's still going on campaigning in those areas. And I think I know why. One, he's trying to put more attention on himself, especially in regards to the trial. He's trying to show that due to the fact that he has this trial, he is not only being persecuted, he's being hampered from actually doing any campaigning. Thus, he can't give out his message. But the only thing that he can do right now is campaign in places such as the Bronx, such as in Queens, or again in New Jersey. And again, a lot of these places are not necessarily Trump friendly. But in spite of that, he's managed to get a lot of support. And yesterday, within the South Bronx rally, I have heard many different reports saying that he got about over 10,000 people to even 25 to 30,000 people in a battle and in a Democratic stronghold. That is big news. Now, I don't know how accurate the numbers are. All I do know is that the part where the rally was supposed to be was supposed to contain only 3,500 to 4,000 people in that specific area. But the crowd was much larger than that. That much is certain. And this only further shows that Donald Trump's presence, even if it's a minor presence, is enough to threaten the Democrats. Hell, if I know that AOC as well as Governor Hochul of New York is trying to downplay a lot of these rallies, as including the supporters and calling them clowns and stuff. But the very fact that they're talking about this shows that this is putting them in a very insecure position. They don't like the fact that Donald Trump is out there talking to people, and another reason why he's actually doing this is he's talking to people who feel underrepresented, even in Democratic areas, specifically minorities. Now, the Bronx is from what I remember, the only county in northeastern United States that's majority Latino. And it has this very sizable black population. And the fact that Donald Trump is going out there trying to talk to these people, it makes these people feel like that Donald Trump has more of their interests at heart. Now, I don't know if I don't believe that the Bronx is suddenly going to turn Republican overnight. Absolutely not. But I do know this. Donald Trump has potential to easily dwindle a lot of minority voters from the Democratic Party. Oftentimes, the African American community tends to go 90% towards the Democrats. If he even takes a fraction of that away from the Democrats, he has the possibility of winning the election. And of course the fact that it's in New York definitely makes the Democrats uncomfortable, because here's the thing. Joe Biden managed to win the state of New York in 2020 by about 21 points. And yet, he's still ahead in that said state, but by only 9. I want you to keep that in perspective. That's a decrease by about 12 points toward the single digits. And this is New York City we're talking about. That alone should have the Democrats a little bit worried. And now it seems as though the Republicans, and especially and partially thanks to Trump, are actually making a major stand within New York. Just recently, back in the 2022 midterms, New York, specifically the Bronx, had their own election, and they managed to elect a Republican in the city council. Now, of course, this doesn't really mean too much, because, well, as I said before, New York is overwhelmingly liberal and it's full of mainly Democrats, but the Republicans flipped the seat from the Democrats. And that wasn't that long ago. It was 2 years ago. If that can happen, what else could happen if Donald Trump takes more and more of those votes that are typically towards the Democrats away from them? He could potentially negate many of the votes towards Joe Biden and the Democrats. Now, again, as I said before, I don't think New York is going to flip. As much as I would love to see that, I would be heavily surprised if he does. Like, so surprised. Because it would be unheard of. The state of New York hasn't flipped since 1984, if I recall correctly. And of course, New York City has a major presence within that state. Most of the state itself is heavily Republican if you're looking at the counties. But because of the fact that New York City is in there, it kind of outweighs the counties that have typically voted Republican. But in spite of that, it's definitely going to take away votes. And it's definitely causing a lot of Democrats and even Joe Biden himself to worry that Donald Trump's presence, especially with the fact that he, even before running for the presidency, that he was a major player within New York. He is well known there. They're worried that he could potentially take away enough votes to negate any potential gains that Joe Biden supposedly would make in the next 5 months, which is when the election will occur. And I hope to God that does happen. Again, New York, unlikely to flip. To be able to take away a lot of votes just in the state of New York, that definitely will and can happen. And I pray to God that will be enough to prevent Joe Biden from becoming president. Just that honestly, that would be very awesome in my opinion. I mean, to be fair, he's not really doing too many favors for himself, especially showing with his decreased popularity. But this goes to show, if the Democrats are losing votes in their own strongholds, the Democrats should be worried. 100% worried. Not for a flip, Not for a flip, at least not yet. But for the potential for their own for the opposition to grow within said states. And for Donald Trump to negate any potential support for Joe Biden and the Democrats in the presidential election. My name is Noah Meehan, All the Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share for friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, or my improv, or whatever, please post them down in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.